London-listed Aminex has its flagship operations in Tanzania, where it's just agreed to sell part of the license that covers the Kiliwani development. Jay Bhattacherjee is joining us now. He's the Chief Executive of Aminex. Welcome.
Good morning.
First of all, before we get into Kiliwani and some more detail and what's going on with Solar Oil that's buying part of this license, explain a bit more about Aminex and what it's doing at the moment.
Sure. We're one of many junior oil and gas companies that have assets in Africa. We're looking to expand our business down in and around Africa, but we're a company that's unique in that we will have production coming. We've got a nice balance with near-term development and with exploration, but we're a company that's very much focused towards the development and production side of the cycle.
Yeah, let's take a look in some more detail about the announcement about the sale, the license sale going to Solar Oil. First of all, why is Aminex selling this portion?
Sure, it's a sale that we feel is a win-win for both parties. It allows us, from the proceeds of the sale, to pay down some corporate debt that we have, and it strengthens our balance sheet. Meanwhile, it also allows us to stay as an operator, which is very important to us, without really giving away the farm.
This is a 6.5% stake, I believe, that Solar is buying at the moment, but Correct. It has the option to double that, is that right?
Absolutely. So the initial deal is for 6.5% for $3.5 million. And then further, there's an option at Solo's discretion, 30 days after the GSA is signed, to pick up another 6.5% for another $3.5 million.
Do you see more selling down on this asset? Do you see that as a strategy?
It's something that we're wide open. We're open for business. I would suspect that we're probably quite comfortable with the percentage that we have right now. And again, one of the strengths of our business is that we do pride ourselves in our operations and our development, and keeping a higher interest is something that we're kind of looking forward to.
Yeah, but this is a gas facility, isn't it? Yeah. Ultimately going to go to production. I mean, the word was out in the market that you were going to go for production the first half of this year at Kiliwani. Yeah. Is that still in place?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually a pretty interesting project that's going on down there. Kiliwani is a well that's been waiting to come on production for quite a while, and with the big Chinese backed pipeline that's being built by the Tanzanian government right now, we expect to be producing in the first half of this year.
And how's the pipeline progress going? I mean, you talked there a little bit about the Chinese involvement.
Yeah, it's a huge project, and very pleased to say that it's going more or less right to schedule. And we expect, again, to be producing by the first half of this year.
That's the Kiliwani asset. What about the other assets that you've got in Africa?
Sure. Again, if we just stick with Tanzania for the time being, again, and keeping in mind that we're production development with exploration story, and that's the plan we're going forward to. Our development component is the big Rovuma position that we have down south in Tanzania. It is a world-class basin. The discoveries offshore are enormous, and the rock type we're after going forward is very similar to what's been discovered in around the region.
And that's all gas as well?
It'll be gas with the potential for liquids, certainly there. The well that we do have as a discovery well certainly did test liquids, and to say it's just pure gas wouldn't be correct.
Right. Let me talk a little bit about the balance sheet. You talked there about some of the income you're going to get from the sale of the part of the license at ultimately 13%. I think $7 million you mentioned going onto the balance sheet. But in fact, I think you're paying down debt, aren't you, with that?
Correct.
How does the balance sheet look, or how will it look after that money comes into the company?
Well, we'll certainly bring our debt down to something that is absolutely manageable at that point in time. We have a very supportive lender who we've been working with hand in hand to allow us to grow the company, and once we do complete this deal, we'll certainly be in a much stronger position to not only expand the business but also to develop our assets that we currently have.
With this production coming on later on in the first half of this year, how much of that is going to go towards funding other assets? I mean, what sort of figures are you looking at in terms of money you're going to need to come onto the balance sheet to help fund those other assets, and the money you're going to get from the production at Kiliwani? Well,
production gives you a lot of strength to seek varieties of types of funding. We are also looking at bringing in industry partners again to share in some of the risk with us. And one of the, again, benefits that we have is we do have the backstop of production, but because Rovuma is such a compelling story, we are in a well-positioned situation there to look at industry situation or solutions as well.
Just going back to the production at Kiliwani, have you got all the agreements in place for all the offtake?
No. One of the questions that absolutely everybody asks, and I'm certain a lot of the shareholders are dying for this answer, is the gas sales agreement's not signed yet. But again, just to be very clear, we do expect production by the first half of this year, and we will not be moving gas until we have a gas sales agreement out there. All of the main negotiation points are all done, and we're really just at the final stages of what needs to be, or what we hope to get signed pretty soon.
And what's the situation in Tanzania then for demand for this sort of product?
Oh, demand is through the roof. We will be producing for years and years before we're even close to meeting demand down there. Tanzanians are desperate for gas right now, and gas. Gas is power to them, and power is growth. So the country needs it, and we're in a good spot having this big pipeline there.
Yeah, just want to quickly take a look at the outlook as well, and we'll run a share price chart as well. We're looking at what's happening with the share price. There's been a big uplift in shares for Aminex in the last year or so. What do you say to shareholders about where the company is and where you're going?
I think we still got a lot more steam in the engine. We've done a lot of technical work. But one of the key things that's unique about us is that we do have that balance of production, development with exploration, and going forward, that's what we'll be after. We're not going to be such an exploration-heavy company. We're going to be very much a balanced company going forward, and we'll be looking to grow our business that way. And
you're going to continue to produce? There's no exit strategy?
There's always the opportunity for us to look for other assets to grow. There's always opportunities for development down there, and so we're not a what we'd call a land lotto type of a company. Yeah. We're not looking to buy and flip.
Jay, it's a pleasure. Thanks indeed for joining us. That's Jay Bhattacherjee. He is the Chief Executive of Aminex.